Right, so everyone who may be watching post-race, this is just a bit of downtime while we get everyone into the lobby and everything sorted out stream-wise. So if you are watching post-race, just skip a couple of minutes forward and it will all be sorted in due time, don't you worry. I just need to get all the thumbnails sorted, all the links out. So you're more than welcome to stay and give me a bit of watch time, but if you aren't interested in watching a loading screen, then please do just skip forward a couple of moments, you're more than welcome to. We get the thumbnail, this will do, and then we'll save that one, we'll get the link, we'll share it around, and then we'll get started. I also need to get the track facts up, it would help. There we are. There it is. Right, so if you are now joining the stream, welcome. Right, so park that's ready. We're just about getting a few people in. We've now got 4 people watching. Just remember to click like and subscribe, everybody. It always does help the challenge out. Mark Taylor, welcome, man. And we've got William in the stream as well. Shout out to Ethan's son William. I've heard he's a big fan of the stream. I've heard he's a real fun guy, just like a mushroom. Well, I hope you do enjoy the streams, man. It's a pleasure to have you all here. It's a pleasure to have all the support, especially William. And I hope you enjoy the stream, and I hope you're cheering your dad on well. And I hope he has a good night of racing. But most importantly, big shout out to William, because the support you show, and I'm glad you enjoy the streams, little man. But yeah, we're all fun guys here. And we've got Mirielez in the stream as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a big old grid tonight. We've got 19 cars on the grid. It's just short of a full grid. So, well, this is hopefully going to be an interesting bit of racing. We've got a few people watching, and well, let's hope they put on a good show for us. We've got Melbourne and Monza, 2 very differing tracks on the spectrum. So guys, if you are enjoying, do make sure to like and subscribe. How many spins do you reckon at 11 and 12? That is a tough one. Honestly, this Melbourne Park Circuit, or Albert Park Circuit, I should say, that turn 11-12 just wants to always spit you out. It's literally a flick left, flick right. If you get it that little bit wrong, you are going sideways. And I guess it just hopes who sort of sends it the most, I suppose you could say, sort of the one who is pushing that a little bit too hard, or whatever. There's a loads of factors, but I reckon we'll see a couple of people spin, probably in quali, because it is obviously only one shot. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Only time will tell. Okay, so we're now getting ready to go under racing. So, hey there everyone, and welcome back to the Sunday Night Sprints. I'm the usual commentator, and firstly, apologies for any background noise. Dad's decided it's a perfect time to do some soaring and whatnot. But nonetheless, we're here at the Albert Park Circuit, first introduced to the Formula 1 calendar. In around about 2004, I do believe. 5.303 kilometre circuit, 3.296 miles, 16 turns, and a race lap record set all the way back in 2004 with a 1:24.125, set of course by Michael Schumacher in his Ferrari F2004. And what a dominant breed of car that was. And Albert Park has produced a little bit of good racing over the years. Of course, a big challenge through turn 11 and 12. And we've also got Fiesta in the chat as well. Welcome to the stream, and we're getting underway for, of course, how it works on a Sunday. It's a one shot versus and then a 25% race afterwards. Again, I'm so sorry for the background noise. I can hear it. I can only imagine what it's like for you guys, but hopefully we can trunk run and you have the displeasure of my voice instead over the displeasing sound of whatever he's using. But nonetheless, we are on a lap of the Albert Park Circuit. We'll go on board with a very quick man of Vardy. So into turn one, you'll want to be looking out for that last braking board, braking just before it, 4th gear to get the rotation, and 5th gear and 6th gear trying to that power down a little bit easier. Revving out 6th gear into 8th gear, and actually at that black box is your point. A little bit of a lock up from Vardy, but he is currently provisional pole through into turn 4, using the gears then to get the power down flat through turn 5 into 6 and 7. And is this a good time? That's a very good time, a 26.7 through sector 1. Very good sector 1 time. Bit shaky coming off there, not the best of runs that he could have gotten, but through turn 8 and into the weird kink that is turn 9. Big lock up. Use the curb on the inside. Use the curb on the exit to help hook it round, and then through the long left-hander of turn 10, you really just want to hug it as tight as you can. Bring it back over to the right-hand side. Chucking into 11 and 12. Then not using that inside curb as well as he would have thought. That's going to compromise him for the exit. And as you can see, he's lost quite a bit of time through there, as we've seen Sonic and Bluey both lost at the turn 11-12 chicane. Into turn 13, then using the curb rather nicely. That's going to help him gain a bit of time. Through into turn 14, then use that curb on the inside with 5th gear really fast. And into 16, the long swooping right-hander that spits you onto the straight. DRS wide open, giving him that extra 20 kph, and across the line. Is it going to be pole for Vardy? It's very close, but Ted gets it with a 1:21.294. Sumo coming very close in second with a 21.329. And then Vardy just slotting in there with a 1:21.402. Bit of a gap down to the two Hasses, who currently line up 4th and 5th. With 21.7 and a 22.0 for Palps. Very good showing in qualifying for him. But crucially, I did notice that, Ghost did get himself disqualified from qualifying. So Ted taking pole, only 0.03 of a second clear of the plan, locking out the second row. Vardy in P3, Davila P4 rounding off the second row of the grid. The other Haas in P5, very good showing, and Scott in P6. Ethan putting on a good show for his son William in P7, good showing. Let's see if he can convert that in the race. Miriellas, the McLaren in P8, Starry in P9, S-Man in P10, rounding off the top 10. Ginger Prince, Max, and QB, the last of the Ghosts to set the time. Ghost, though, and Bitmappy both without a time, and Bluey, Sonic, and Tier, and Bossy all disqualified or retired from the race. But Bossy, he's been no stranger to last the first challenges. He did do it last week at Mexico. Who knows, we could see him go from 19th all the way up the grid to first. Only time will tell, and we'll have to see how it unfolds for the next 14 laps of the Albert Park circuit. Very interesting qualifying session then, and we're going to be going underway. Could rain play a factor? Who knows? It's But 9 people watching, so do make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Is amazing, the support. We're already past 360 subscribers, which is just insane. Road to 400 is there. Integrity Gaming, Starry home Grand Prix win. Who knows? Who knows? We could see Starry take the home Grand Prix win, but you know, he is the one used to driving upside down. We are in Australia. Never know, we might see him. Let's see him up there. Also, the layout of Melbourne Park hasn't changed since it was last reintroduced into Formula 1. In 2021, there's talks that they're gonna shave off the turn 9 corner and just make it that kink of the escape road they've used. They're just gonna make that the flat out bit, which could be very interesting. Palfs for the spin. You're so supportive, you are, Moosey. You honestly really are. You know, it's your fault for buying him the wheel. He might be like still a controller god if it weren't for you. It's all your fault. But we'll have to wait and see how he gets on. Hopefully he does well. He's not going to disappoint me. He's going to double podium tonight, 100%. As anyway, we do get underway for the formation lap, led of course by Ted, the pole man. Predicted pit stop strategy of soft to medium or soft to hard. No real nothing new here. And 25% races, 15 laps of the Melbourne Park circuit we'll get. And hopefully they're going to be some intense 15 laps. We've got Ted leading the way, Sumo and Vardy out of position, you could say. Technically he bought it. Potato, tomato, tomato, whatever. I completely messed that up there, but we won't talk about that. We'll ignore that. Nonetheless, so you can see how they are watching this while eating steak, proper Valentine's Day. You know, most people spend time with their missus on the evening. No, you're watching some 14-year-old commentate pretend race cars. Just insane stuff. But yeah, you can see it weaving around like snakes to get the temperature into the tyres, use the adhesive surface as much as they can to really warm up the tyres, use the friction, and get the nice grip, the nice prime temperature zone to really get the grip off the start. Obviously, you don't want the rubber too cold because it can't deform very well, but you also don't want it too hot that it deforms too much and you're just stuck there wheel spinning. So you do have to really get a nice balance. But yeah, it looks like we're going to see people pit around the lap 7 to 11 mark. Which, you know, strategy could play a factor, going for that 1 lap earlier undercut. Maybe if you don't get caught in traffic, going for that 1 lap later overcut to stay out of traffic. Who knows? We'll really do have to just see. But Ted shooting away from the rest of the grid. And he's going to be stuck on some very cold tyres if he doesn't slow himself down. Round in the final corner though and getting themselves to the grid. This is it. This is the first race of the evening. Ted lining himself up on pole position. The heart is racing. The adrenaline is pumping. This is it. This is where it really settles in. You're on the lights. You're on the grid looking up at those 5 red lights. Who is going to come out on top here at Albert Park today? Who is going to topple the top of the standings? Can anyone challenge Williams? Bossy lining up at the back. The rest of the field lining up at the back. And opting for the alternate medium strategy. We go to the lights then. Green flags are waved. Just waiting for the race director to get the lights up at the front of the grid. Here we go then. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights, and we're underway in Albert Park, and the Renault gets away well. Sumo already alongside Ted coming into turn 1. Very shaky start from the racing point further back, but the Renault already alongside Ted into T1 to take the lead of the race. The 97 car getting a bit shaky through turn 2 though, and this is going to be Ted on the counter attackers. Looks like Vardy as well, trying to get his way up the inside. There's yellow flags further back, but Vardy under pressure and all the way around the outside of Sumo for the race lead. Can he get it stuck? No, Sumo going to hold his line very nicely up in front, and it looks like Palfs has gone round further back with S-Man. It seems there's been a bit of contact towards the tail end of the grid. It looks like Ginger Prince as well, and there's another spinner. Who is that? That's Ted round towards the tail end of the grid. He's now wait, no, it looks as though it's a timing glitch. I'm not sure too what's going on here, but Ted looking to get himself back past Vardy for P2, and Sumo looking to control this race, and he really does need to get the power down and get his car into gear, get it going. Davila looking to make amends. He's trying to get past Scott up the inside into turn 11. Surely not. He's going to back out of that one. Side by side they go with Scott. Can he get it around the outside? Scott leaving in the room, bit shaky. Great bit of racing between these two, and it looks as though they are going to be 3 wide on the run into 13. And here's Ethan on the outside, around the outside of Scott, really making the most of it. He's off the track, using the curb though, and it looks as though Bossy is out of the race. It looks like our first retirement of the race at turn 11 and 12, 11 chicane. So no full course yellows as of yet, but very commanding start from Sumo then to take the race lead off the start. He sets the fastest lap, and it doesn't look like we're going to go to a full course yellow, luckily enough for us here today. Can Scott get himself back past Ethan, who's had a great start? Ghost as well with a remarkable start, already finding himself on the back of Davila. Can he get himself to the inside? An important move to make to the inside of turn 3. Bit of a lock up from the both, and Davila really going to leave him to dry around the outside. Can Ghost get him again around the outside? No, Davila going to claim his racing line, and Ghost forced to sit back once again. But yeah, a great start from Ghost nonetheless. He's really putting the pressure on in these earlier stages. Shut up, Moosey. He disappointed me there, but luckily no damage sustained. Sonic and Bitmap, the 2 AlphaTauris into the pit lane, having to go to the hard compound tyres for the remainder of the race, I am guessing. But nonetheless, we're on to lap 2 of 15. No DRS yet. We're going to have to wait a couple of moments for that to happen. Lap 3, of course, DRS does get enabled. Through turn 12 he goes as well. We've got Ted and Vardy going for P2. Bit of a run on the grass for Ted to the outside of turn 13. That's not going to come to fruition. He set up a nice little cutback though. Can he get it to the inside of turn 14? No. Just going to have to sit back and wait. On this particular occasion, really is putting the pressure on, and we're going to see a 3-car train for P1 for the moment, as Sumo does lead us across the line once again, and these guys really giving it everything. Davila and Ghost and even Ethan wants to get himself involved on the action. We could see a 6-car train for the race lead then. Here we go. DRS is enabled, not going to be used on the turn 2 to turn 3 straight, however, as the detection point is back there in turn 14. But we will see it at turn 11 and 12. But they are really putting the pressure on. You can see one by one they go in a nice little train here. Just waiting for the DRS, waiting for that opportunity to pounce. Pounce with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It looks as though that good quality is all coming undone, and admittedly Moosey is right. As much as I hate to admit it, she is right, and it's a shame, but always got Monza the reverse grid race. Who knows, we could see Paus keep it clean through turn 1, who knows. But nonetheless, here goes Sumo then leading us through turn 11 and 12 for the third time, really giving it everything. And so is Vardy with a nice bit of ERS saved up. He could put the pressure on, but Ted is the one trying to put the pressure on. He hasn't got a lot of ERS to be burning, as well as Ghost looking to get onto the back of Davila. Probably best if they do just work together though and make the most of any mistakes the guy in front makes. If Ted sends up the inside of Vardy, drives them both off the track, Davila and Ghost are going to be the ones making the most of that. But you can see how close they are, pushing each other through that final corner, and Ted really sideways. Ted in the wall, he's hit the wall, he spun round. Luckily that isn't his front wheel off and just his end plate, but that is a big blow to Ted and Sonic coming out the pits as Davila's coming around. But here's Vardy trying to put the pressure on to Sumo for the race lead, really going side by side through turn 1 and 2 to the inside. There's Ghost as well, getting himself up the inside of Davila for P3, forcing him on the grass, and Ghost managing to cleanly get his way through. So now it is the two Williams putting the pressure on the Renault up in front, but big spin for Ted further back. He really was putting the pressure on, pushing that little bit too hard, and found himself spinning and drifting away, unfortunately, as that is going to be him getting overtaken, falling back down the grid with the wing damage, really having to rely on the mechanical and tyre grip as opposed to the aerodynamic grip that he gets from the front wing. So he is going to really be losing a lot of time on this end lap, and I'm sure he'll be coming in as SS Man is into the pits this lap as well. But Ghost a lot closer, Vardy a lot closer to Sumo on this occasion. Can he get himself to the inside? Sumo squeezing him back to the outside. Vardy not being able to get close enough to the inside, taking a nice tight line, and it is Ghost trying to put the pressure on his teammate as well. Looks like we've still got a 4-car train for the race lead. Is Ghost going to be putting the pressure on Vardy, or is he going to sit back and try and work with his teammate? And here goes Vardy into the pit lane. Has he sustained a bit of damage, or is this just an early pit stop, the proactive reaction to try and get a nice little undercut, or has Vardy had to pit for some damage? Is Ethan and Scott have going wheel to wheel? Can Scott get the move done? Yes, he can, and Ethan having to back up, but Miriles really is putting the pressure on Ethan as well. Could see a bit of fun there, but Ghost really all over the back of Sumo, really putting the pressure on Davila. The bottle lid is a bit open. He needs to stay in the DRS of these two if he wants any chance of the race win. Ghost, though, with an insane amount of pace to come from where he was on the grid to where he is now, and really is trying to get himself onto the back of Sumo. A third of the way through the race, and through turn 8 into turn 9, not really much he can do here. Really closing up on the braking, though. Sumo slow in, fast out. Ghost sort of fast in, fast out still, and well, making the most of it, really closing up on the braking, and through turn 11, can he get the most done? It is going to be a lot of dirty, big outwash, but Sumo and Ghost both keeping it rather clean. He's going to put the pressure on. He's using his overtake button. Can he get the momentum to the inside, to the outside? It's going to be a move for the race leader. Around the outside goes Ghost. Can he get it done? No. Sumo's going to hold his own and force him to the outside. Davila going to get his way up the inside, and Ghost going to fight it around the outside, really needing to stay in front of Davila. Desperate moves, and he's managed to get it done, and Davila leave him the space. But Sumo, very well done, and Davila into the pits. But Sumo, very well, nicely done to hold his line and say to Ghost, well, no, you're not going around the outside of me there. And good bit of defending from Sumo to say, well, no, you're not doing that. I'm holding on to this race lead, and it looks like we've got a nice feisty fight going on. How is Ghost going to retaliate, though? Is he going to bring it back into turn 3? He's got the overspeed. Sumo to the inside, Ghost back to the outside. Bit of contact as Sumo did move back over there, but he's tapped him wide, and Ghost back to the outside to take the racing line through turn 4 to take the lead of the race. But did he sustain any front wing end plate damage? No, he didn't from that tap. So Ghost now released to try and extend the gap away from him. Got Miriel still on the back of Ethan, really trying to set himself up, but a big lock up through there, unfortunately. But Vardy, after coming out of the pits on these medium tyres, he's found himself in a bit of traffic. He needs to get these moves done. He needs to get past Ginger Prince. Can he do it? As Tyr has actually set the fastest lap of the race. But here's Vardy then. He's set up a nice little cutback. Can he get the power down as Ginger is on a compromised line? Send it up the inside, put the car there, and very nicely done from the man trying to stake a claim at the race lead. Have we got Paus and S-Man having a bit of a tussle? Yes, we do. Coming out of turn 2. Can Paus get his way to the inside? Yes, he can. DRS, no overtake needed. Trying to recover from his spin. Under brakes, though. S-Man, bit of a lock-up, and Paus cleanly up into P14. And nice stuff there, trying to recover from the earlier spin. Davila as well, trying to get his way through on Ginger Prince, as we have got yellow flags here. What has happened is that Ghost and Scott into the pits yet. So the two two of the race leaders into the pit. Chapman on the medium tyres, right on schedule, and here's Mirielez and Ethan both in a provisional. Oh no, that is that? No, that's bitmappy round or bluey or Sonic round. Further back there, it was an AlphaTauri and therefore lapped. So no real fuss there. Just a back marker getting spun. Luckily, no main contenders for the race lead. Again, as Ted did earlier. Nonetheless, here is Davila and Scott. These two were tussling it out a little bit earlier in the race, but Davila a little bit caught up in traffic, had to sit behind and potentially lost time to Scott. Now fighting over what is a provisional P7, probably a net P4 or 5. So really having to give everything. Important moves being made as Ethan has picked himself up a 3-second time penalty. And as that Sumo round up in front, did we see him go a little bit slowly? I saw yellow flags. Has he sustained any front wing end plate? Yes, he has. He's gone round. Sumo, who was making a nice little claim for the race lead, must have spun round on those old soft tyres. So what implications could this have? This could promote Ghost or Davila and Scott up a position potentially onto the podium. Have to wait and see. Scott taking a lot of liberties with track limits, does run him a little bit wide, and Davila, no surprises, is running low on ERS, completely out of battery. Of course, ERS, energy recovery system, is the battery within the car, the hybrid power system that gives them that extra 140 brake horsepower at the push of a button. Ethan, interestingly, coming in for a set of hard tyres. Let's see how that goes for him. They're going to be comfortably to the end of the race. Who knows? As it looks as though we have got the pit stops filtering out. So this was for P3 and 4 between them. And Scott really commanding the fight for the final podium place. Very nicely done. But we have got a Williams 1-2 as Vardy, after the undercut, finds himself 1.5 seconds off Ghost. After being caught up in traffic. So it looks like that early pit stop has cost him in this race. Let's see what pace he has compared to his teammate. But as it stands, the Williams 1-2, once again the reigning and, well, coming into this race leading the Constructors' Championship. And it looks as though they're going to be coming out of this race leading it as well. Also, as they keep it clean, and the remainder 8 laps or so of this race are kept nice and tidy for them. We've also got a nice little fight for the podium place here within Davila and Scott. We've also got Sumo trying to fight his way back through the field with the pace he had. He did have front wing end plate damage after spinning, unfortunately. And Sonic as well, keeping it with them, keeping the pace, showing what pace he could have had. Just unfortunate that he must have got caught up in a lap 1 skirmish, and that those things do happen. Not much you can really do to help it, but it is unfortunate. And Ethan, interestingly, has come out a few seconds in front of Mirielez after being right up close with him, and Mirielez really putting the pressure on Ginger, who has gone very deep into the penultimate corner and through the final corner, going to give him a very compromised run, very shaky. And this is what Mirielez is going to capitalise on, to the inside with DRS and ERS to swiftly claim that P6 position off Ginger's hands, so he can set out on his quest to try and catch up to Ethan and get that move done further up as well. We'll have a little look at what Ethan's time penalty situation is. It's 3 seconds, so Mirielez just needs to gain an extra 2/10 on the guy in front to get it done. And I'm sure William in the chat will be hoping that he can stay out of that 3-second range and hold on for P5, which will be a remarkable result for him. As we do see Bluey into the pit lane, so must have sustained a bit of damage as well. Looks like this really is a battle of attrition for the drivers today. Looks like they're not cut into grips with the tricky streets of Albert Park, I should say. But nonetheless, here's Davila really on the back of Scott, who's got so much ERS banked up to defend with. You can see Davila really using it all up in this, but Scott just has enough to push the button, give him the momentum, and try and soar away. But Vardy has lost his teammate up in front. Ghost has the pace to control this race now, and he really is doing very well of controlling it, and just got the consistency, getting his head down. And Scott is now actually catching up to the Williams in front. So Davila just trying to stay with Scott, so when Scott catches, or if Scott catches, he can put the pressure on as well. But the gap 1.4, we'll have to monitor it as the race progresses. Sumo on a charge, he's himself in front of his teammate B, who has actually come into the pit lane to let him through. But yeah, there's Ginger Prince into the pits as well. So Sumo back up to P7 and very much on a charge to try and well, damage limitation. He was doing very well at the beginning of the race. Obviously found himself spinning just before the round of pit stops and cost him a P2 position. So we'll have to see where he can recover to. Meireles, though, really eating away at that gap between himself and Ethan. So that gap really coming down. 6 laps, of course, of the race to go. And we're seeing a lot of unscheduled pit stops and a lot of yellow flags coming out of the turn 11 and 12. Is that Ethan round? No, there's just yellow flags for some reason. Luckily, back to green flag racing very swiftly. Here's Davila on the back of Scott, really using the most of that ERS that he can, putting the pressure on, but it's not enough. Once you get below 10%, it does actually not have the required power output that you would like. So he's not actually getting the most of that ERS button. He's just pushing so hard to try and keep with Scott, who still has enough battery to push. But he's lost Vardy up in front just by a little bit, so it looks like the battle for the podium is the one that's on. And Scott really tentative, not pushing the car at all, and really just trying to keep himself consistent to claim another podium at Australia, and really trying to do the Australian Prouds fan, Australian fans proud, not Australian Prouds fan. I'm just stupid. But here's Meireles finally getting himself past Ethan, who tried his best effort to the inside, but Meireles cleanly up the around the outside to take the racing line and the P5 in the race. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I'm really stuttering today, guys. Not the usual quality of stuff. So I can only apologise for that. But yeah, just so triggered to say certain things that once I say something similar, it just sort of muscle memory. Can Ethan stay with Meireles for P5? We'll almost certainly have to wait and see. He is still within DRS, so maybe he can get the run out of here and into turn 11 and 12. He's using the ERS button now rather than down the back straight, and really is pushing. That's going to not really do his rear tyres much good. Chucking it through turn 11 and 12. Can he keep it with Meireles, who looked a bit shaky through there? He has got the DRS, but it looks like Meireles has the ERS and the speed to control it in front for the time being. Maybe if we see a mistake, who knows? But it looks as though Scott has managed to pull out a gap. We've also got Palfs and S-Man going for a bit of a tussle once again in this race as well. Palfs looking to try and get himself back up a higher position of points. Of course, in the Sprint Race Championship, every position does score points. That's a mistake I did make last week. Every position scores points, so this is just for a little bit of extra points. And S-Man, goes deep into turn 12. Not going to be the run. He goes defensive. Palfs to the outside. Can he get it around the outside? No. S-Man going to control the racing line. Goes in a bit deep, though. Has he got a compromised exit that Palfs can strike on? No, he's going to have to sit back and wait for potentially turn 1, maybe turn 3 if he can sit behind. We've also got Ethan still sticking in the DRS, very shaky through turn 5 though, and he missed that. But Davila has actually managed to get past Scott for P3, and Scott on the back foot and looking to right on the back of him. We've also got Palfs getting himself past S-Man into turn 1, so caught him off guard there, very nicely done. Ted and Sumo, 2 challengers for the race leader earlier, having a tussle as well, but Scott now needing to put the pressure onto Davila and really get onto the back of him now while he still can. Davila with the older tyres should be running out of grip soon, and Scott with the more ERS should be catching him up. He just needs to stay within DRS, get the good exit and really push himself. Big wash of understeer through turn 16 though, and on to the pit straight. Let's see what he can do about it, as well as Ted and Sumo having a bit of a tussle further back as well. We'll have to monitor how that's going, but the fight for the podium is very much on. Scott wanting to do the Australian fans proud, wanting to get himself on the podium, and into turn 3 trying to get it stopped. Big lock up, just goes to show how much he is pushing, and through turn 4 using third to get the extra rotation and get the car turned in despite the dirty air. Turn 5 really using that curb on the inside to hook it round, and into turn 7 into 8. Can he stay with him? He's well within DRS and he's really got the ERS to attack with. Can we see a change for the podium into turn 9? Second gear, third gear, track on the inside to get the car hooked, and he's really got a nice launch off there, and really through turn 10 needing to stay on the back of him so he can have a good run through turn 11 and 12 and get the backwards momentum in DRS. Chucking it through, use the curb on the inside. It's not quite going to be enough though, and Davila really is commanding with the raw pace of of his of his tyres really dominating with the raw pace, and Scott not being able to get within enough of a range to stay with him. Unfortunately, we're going to be rounding on to the penultimate lap in a few moments' time. Yeah, we're on to the penultimate lap, of course, with the leaders up in front. So we've only got 2 laps of the race left. We need Scott to really push, give it everything for the final 2 laps, and give Davilet a run for his money. Get that Haas off the podium. Can he do so? We've also got Tier on some fresh tyres, trying to get his way past S-Man into turn 11 and 12. Surely not. No, he's going to sit back. Of course he is. He's going to sit back, use his DRS advantage that he has got. And with DRS, surely he's going to just sail down the inside as S-Man goes very wide to give him room to the inside. Goes Tier. S-Man trying to get it around the outside. Not quite going to be getting it round on this occasion. So Tier up into P11 and trying to chase down Paus, and he could very much do so. Ted all over the back of Sumo, very shaky through turn 5 though. It looks like Ted hasn't composed himself very well for this race. The pole sitter not having the best of races. He has still got the reverse grid race to help him, and he will be starting around about the P12 mark. No, the P12 mark. So it's still good, but Ghost has been given a 3-second time penalty going on to the final lap. So Vardy has very much got a chance to win this race as Ghost awarded the 3-second time penalty for track limits. Vardy, all he has to do now is stick within 3 seconds of his teammate. He's within 2.3 now. All he has to do is keep this gap and keep this final lap clean. This is very much the fight for the race lead, not between 2 cars, but between time. He just has 7 tenths to hang on, and Ghost has got to be giving it everything on this lap. He's got nothing to lose now. It's either first or nothing. And I'm sure he's going to be wanting that first. But Vardy just trying to keep it clean, keep it consistent for this final lap. Really running it thin on fuel. But as you can see, the pace Vardy had bottled up. He's chipping away at his teammate already. Really pressure on who is going to come out on top between the 2 Williams. It's going to be a Williams 1-2 regardless. But which of them is going to be the one in front? We'll have to wait and see. He's got, what is it now, 8 corners to go through turn 10. Has Ghost got 2 penalties? No, he's only got 1. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, he has got 2 penalties. He's got 6 seconds. So he could, in theory, lose to Davilet if Davilet puts the pressure on. Cheers, Mark. I didn't actually see that. He's now got 2 loads of penalties. So look, Vardy is going to be the one on top. There's yellow flags everywhere around the track. Have we seen at turn 16? It looks as though we goes through everything from last to first. The final corner. He's going to be the race winner, but not for very long. It's only going to be short-lived for 1.5 seconds. Across the line, Ghost wins on track, but Vardy is your race winner, finishing P2. But Ghost, very remarkable driving today as Davila comes across the line, held off Scott very nicely to finish P3. Scott for good showing in front of the Australian fans. And Miriam and Ethan still, oh no, Ethan very wide off turn 15 into 16. He could lose out from Sumo then on the run to the line. This could get interesting, 3-way and across the line. Ethan managing to hang on, but with this will drop down to P8, Sumo P6, Ted P7, Ethan P8 and Paus a few moments later will finish P9. Can he though, as Tier is putting the pressure on? All he needs to do, stay with him, turn 14 into 15. Do anything? Maybe no. It looks like Paus is just about going to hang on through the final corner. Could be decided on penalties though. P9 for Paus, a good recovery drive across the line. Is it P9? No, it's P10, maybe P11. Yeah, it's P11. And everyone else, S-Man crossing the line. P12, good showing. Nice consistency shown from the racing point. Come across the line to finish P12. Bluey, a few moments later in P13, finishing. As S-Man did have a greater penalty. Max line P14 in P14 penalty. So not the best showing for the home crowd, but still managed to get to the end. The last to cross the line in P15 after Max's penalties, and Bossy was actually the only driver we had lost from that race. So after 15 laps of racing, that was the feature race, and we'll go on to the reverse grid sprint race in a few moments time. Can't believe I bottled it. Where did you bottle? Was it coming out of turn 9, Sumo? And Ghost, very much deservedly so, your driver of the day, coming from the back of the grid to finish first on track. Turn 10. How did you spin it turn 10? It's flat out. Strange. But Ghost has actually left the session. But Vardy then is your race winner. Williams 1-2 and Ghost from 14th to 2nd. Davila P3 rounding off the top 3. Good showing for the Haas. Scott into P4. Muriel's P5. Sumo and Ted not having the best of races in second and first. Well, that's where they started. Finishing 6th and 7th. So not the best race. But Ethan, a very good showing. P6 on track. P8 when it comes to this final standings. Still a very good result. I'm sure his son will be very proud of him. Tier P9, Ginger rounding off the top 10. Pals P11 after spinning. Bluey P12, S-Man P13, Max P14, Starry 15th, QB 16th, Sonic 17th, Bitmappy 18th, and Bossy the lone retirement of P19. Looks like Max making some progress up into P14. Good showing. Slowly getting there, and I'm sure we'll see him very much in the fight for the top 5 very soon. But yeah, that was the feature race. We're getting ready for the reverse grid sprint race at Monza, one of the most famous tracks, and well, probably the worst track to have the reverse grid race on. The Retafilio chicane, obviously turn 1 and 2. Very, very famous corners for a bit of havoc, and if you've got the slow guys at the front and the faster guys at the back, well, it's only a recipe for disaster. But no shy of action. A lot of history at Italy. Very passionate fans cheering on the likes of Scott in the Ferrari, Bluey as well in the Ferrari. Hopefully the Italian outlets can So do make sure to like and subscribe. That was the feature race. Hopefully the sprint race can give us just as much or even more action than the first. So hopefully it is something you enjoy and would consider liking and subscribing for. Of course, I'm Zach Sweeney, the commentator for the APPF1 Sunday Night Sprints, sometimes Fridays, but that's only when the very talented IG8 can't come, so I have to sort of step in. As the reserve. Has Ghost joined? Yes, he has. He's back in, and he's in the Williams and second in the standings. Definitely a good bit of racing. Just a good race overall. We've just got a bit of downtime while Palps and Dave sort out the reverse grid. So obviously last starts first starts last, and everything else in between. So hopefully an exciting one for us all today. And Moosey's back. Palps managed to recover to P9. It was P11 in the final standings, but you know, good recovery. Shows he had the pace. Definitely could have won it, I'm sure, if he didn't bottle it, as usual. Sorry, Palps. Been here all along. Oh. Give me that sweet, sweet watch time that we love to see. And we are getting it ready to go back underway. Oh no, why were you on your Brazilian setups? They're nothing alike. You plonkers, you really are plonkers. But nonetheless, we are here at the Autodromo Nazionale, Italy. Or no, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza, I should say. Not the most fluent in Italian, I must say. But the modern Grand Prix circuit is 5.793 kilometers long, around about 3.6 miles, 11 turns, and a race lap record of a 121.046, set of course by Rubens Barrichello back in 2004 with the Ferrari, back when Ferraris were actually competitive. But we do see very high speeds here at Monza, the fastest average lap speed on the calendar. That you're not off the throttle for long. Not off the throttle for very long, and you can see very fast speeds of up to 224 miles an hour, which is insanely fast. And the only real main times you're off the throttle are the two chicanes of the Rettifilo and the Della Roggia. Of course, you've got Ascari, which is a chicane, but it's not very much a chicane. It's more a very flick left, right, left. As everyone is just bolting on their setups, getting themselves all ready for the action. Moosey would be horrible at pep talks for Palps. The amount of support she shows in the live chat, jeez. Of course I am, Indigo Man. I hope you're holding up as well. Hope you're doing alright, man. At least. But we are underway for the formation lap. Of course, the reverse grid race. So Bitmappy will lead the way, followed by Sonic QB on the second row, by Starry, who's going to be wanting to make amends after a race in Austria. Max as well starting P5, be interesting to see what he can do. S-Man and Bluey P6 and 7, Palps P8, right in the mid-pack, and very, very dangerous place to be. Backward boost the tension, of course. Palps P8 right in the mid-pack, very dangerous place to be, but Ginger Prince right behind him in P9, the two alphas in 9 and 10th, Ethan in P11 and Ted P12, Sumo P13, Miriales P14, Scott P15, Davila 16th, Ghost and in 17th, and last race's race winner in P18, and Bossy down in P19, obviously, as he did retire. The predicted pit stop strategy: soft to medium or soft to hard, pitting around the lap 6 or 7 mark. Just keep it real, just got to keep it honest. Just don't feed him false hope. That's the theory. Don't give him false hope, tell him how it is, and if it destroys his hopes and dreams, then so be it. Very harsh, but an interesting ethic. I believe in Palps. I have faith. Very ambitious faith, and probably a bit too optimistic, and should probably tone it down to more of a realistic stance. But we still give him the faith, and here's Bitmappy rounding up to the grid on pole position, making it an AlphaTauri 1-2, the Italian outlet team. who won here, of course, in 2020 and back in 2008 with Sebastian Vettel and Pierre Gasly, respectively. Finds himself 1-2. Can they convert that into a race win today? We'll have to wait and see as we go to the lights for 13 laps of the Monza circuit. He just said his heart is about to come out of his chest. Very intense moment is Monza. Just tell him to be very careful into the Rettifilio. But now we go to the green flag waves and we get ready to go underway in racing at Monza. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 red lights. And we're underway for Monza, and the pole sitter gets away well, but his teammate gets away even better coming on into the Rettifilio. There's a McLaren very wide there and nearly off the track, but everyone trying to negotiate the way very nicely, very cautiously, 3 wide into turn 1, but it looks like Sonic's managed to get himself cleanly through turn 1. Up the inside goes Max, trying to get himself onto the podium place, and side by side they go with Starry. Looks like everyone's gotten away well and managed to keep it clean. Note, there's Yellow Flag, she set the one. Who's that spun round? Nonetheless, here's Miriales and Sumo, 2 of the contenders for the race win in the previous race, going side by side for Curva Grande. This is for P11, and Ethan trying to get himself up the inside of Ginger Prince into the Della Roja. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. But Bluey very here, making the most of the cutback there. The Ferrari not having the best of starts at its home race, and Yellow Flags once again through the Della Roja, and it looks like lap 1 at Monza has claimed some victims once again, but it looks like a very good start then. And oh no, that's Paus, and a tear into the wall. Max trying to hold off Paus, must have got a bit of a slide, and that is Paus down back into the wall, and there's going to be a virtual safety car as Davila has actually been collected. It was Davila that got collected, my apologies. So heart in the mouth for Paus there, but he's managed to keep it clean, only down 1 position, but being given a 5-second time penalty for collision with Sumo under the virtual safety car. So it looks as though Monza claiming the victims once again. And hopefully we can get underway in racing. But very big shame for Davila then, who got collected up by Max, who's now down into P18. So not the best of starts. But Paus keeping it clean. He's got a bit of front wing end plate damage, as you can see. So he's going to have to make a prompt stop. And you can see lining up into the pit lane. But Sonic managing to get away well then. He leads his teammate off the restart. We'll have to see how that can come to fruition. It looked as though Max just drove him into the wall, but I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was a genuine mistake, and it's very easy to lose power off the second Lesmo. But we are back underway. Green flag racing, and Vardy trying to get away well and onto the back of Ted right in front of him, who was apparently in P1. He's most certainly not into P1, but Ginger Prince very deep, and Sumo caught off guard there. Ginger Prince managing to keep the position, but Sumo looking to the inside of the first of the 2 Lesmos. Tier and QB going side by side as well. Looks like there's a bit of action. Sonic has fallen off a little bit. No, he hasn't. It's just a timing glitch again. Catching me off guard, but Ghost and Bossy going side by side. Bossy really putting the pressure on, but deciding to back out of that move. But Ghost not having the start he'd have liked as well with his teammate. It's crucial you stay in the DRS of the car in front. Otherwise, you are just going to get caught adrift and have to pit or pit a little bit earlier. You're going to be running out of fuel and ERS very quickly. Here's Sumo to the inside of Ginger Prince for P7. And very cleanly done into Parabolica, but Ginger Prince could set up a nice little cutback, get the power down early. That's exactly what he's done. Can he get it done? No, not quite on this occasion as well. Ethan looking to get his way back up into P5, and 4 is QB is right in front. Here's Tier to the inside. Very shaken up grid then, as everyone's been sort of knocked off their guard. To the inside goes Tier. QB around the outside. Very cleanly done though, and Ethan is trying to get his way back up the inside. Tier being shoved off onto the grass then, and that is Ethan with the momentum to try and overtake QB around the outside. It'll be the inside for the Della Roja chicane if he can keep the foot in around the outside of the Renault. Has he stuck his nose into the inside? Very brave on the brakes into the Della Roja. He usually is. Around the outside goes QB. Ethan though, no width given there on the exit. Took his racing line, and very rightly so. QB was going to be nowhere holding it around the outside of the Della Roja chicane, and the same with Tier. That second part of the chicane is just going to be understeer. You're going to get pushed off if you try and do that, but nonetheless he's composed himself very well to get himself onto the back of QB once again, and still within the prime DRS and ERS range as well. Yellow Flash, you set the 2. It looks like Bossy's gone off at the second Lesmo, unfortunately. Very easy to do under power. There's going to be another virtual safety car in this race, which of course is less than ideal, but it will happen at Monza. It is very ruthless. Only 11 turns, but 11 very tricky turns. So we're back under full course yellow once again. And it looks as though Sonic has really sort of just checked out up in front. QB deciding to come in and take his pit stop under the slower conditions. Of course, you're going to be losing a lot less time. As well has actually picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but as I was alluding to earlier, you lose a lot less time when everyone's going, well, 60% speed slower, so you lose around about 15 seconds as opposed to sort of the 25 seconds you would usually lose. So it is pretty much a free pit stop, and QB, Vardy, Miriles, S-Man, Max, Bluey and Pals all deciding to take that as Bitmappy has picked up a drive-through for speeding under VSC. So really in that red delta off the restart, and Tier, big lock-up, cold tyres catching him out there, and here's going to be Sumo trying to give him the run into the first of the two Lesmos. Not quite going to be able to turn that into anything though on this occasion. He's going to have to sit back. DRS is enabled straight away. Yellow flash through sector 3. Is that Pulse off towards the back? It looks as though it is. He's done a Leclerc, and it looks as though he's going to be round and spun at the back. And Moosey's faith is very well placed, it must be said. Tier to the outside of Ascari though. That's not going to work. There's contact. Ethan got completely turned into and tried to keep it inside through Ascari. Tier trying to keep it on the outside, and that's going to be Ethan round. Here's Sumo though to the inside, looking to try and claim the inside, but having to switch late and go to the outside. And this fight between Tier and Ethan really allowed him to get onto the back around the outside of Parabolica. Cleanly done, and it swoops around with the momentum. And Starry on the back of Bitmappy, who has got a service drive through cleanly to the inside. Starry then, great bit of racing between them, and can Bitmappy hold it around the outside? Be pointless racing if he does. And there we go, cleanly done. But between Ethan and Tier, well, you can give it both ways. You can say to Ethan, well, you stuck it up the inside into Ascari, but you can also say to Tier, you sort of were going for a move that was never on. So it does swing both ways, and it just so happened that Ethan was the man on the inside. And as with F1 games, the man on the inside is usually going to be the one that gets spun round, just as the unfortunate case. But yeah, it has to be a racing incident. Ascari is not a place you want to be sending moves, especially around the outside or especially up the inside. You are just going to get turned into or forced off the track, and it's 50-50. It swung Ethan's way on this occasion, unfortunately. It happens, it's racing, and it most certainly is a shame to see Ethan down into P9, still managing to recover himself very well, and still in a very nice points-paying position, as Tier has managed to up the inside of Sumo into Ascari, very wide though, so Sumo is going to counter-attack. Deja Vu, he's to the outside of Parabolica once again. Tier really squeezing him to the outside. This is for P4. Can he get it around the outside? It's going to be a bold move. He's going to bait Tier in deep, try set up the tight line, cut back. He's not got a lot of ERS to be using compared to Tier though. Sumo really has just eaten through his energy as Scott and Bitmappy both into the pits to serve drive-throughs and pit. Here's Sumo though, back up the inside into the Retafilio chicane. Can he get it stopped and force Tier to the outside? He's trying to stick his nose in. It's not going to work. He gives him the space on the inside, but Tier is going to be compromised. Can Ted most of this control and get himself back up there? Tier really ambitious with the moves around the outside then. He's feeling racy, but on this occasion Scott managing to claim the race. Sumo managing to claim the racing line and find himself into a provisional P3 position, and Tier still putting the pressure on, as well as right up close behind him. But after pit stops filtered out, you've got Vardy all over the back of QB. Can he get it around the outside? He really needs to get this move done, get that car between himself and Scott, otherwise he is going to be very much under pressure to the inside. We've also got Tier and Sumo going side by side. Tier around the outside, swoops around the outside. We've also got Vardy very clearly up the inside, up into P and 9, getting that nice little buffer zone between himself and Scott. Back up in front though, Sumo really trying to put the pressure back onto Tier. He'll have another DRS straight, but he's running out of ERS, and so is Tier. Both running out of ERS, and Sonic controlling this race extremely well up in front. 7 seconds clear of second as Starry into the pit lane. So the Italian team, very good job up in P1. Could we see a second AlphaTauri or a third AlphaTauri win at Monza? Starry will come out in P5, and it looks between these these three up in front between second, third and fourth are all going to be reacting to each other's pit stop. They don't want to lose DRS. They don't want to be out of a chance behind DRS when they come into the pit. So they're going to be reacting to each other, I'm sure. So when Tier comes in, Sumo will come in. When Sumo comes in, Ted will come in. because you do really want to pit with a partner. And Ethan, after pit stops, has filtered out. He's in P7, but he is still to pit. And Scott really pushing to try and get onto the back of Vardy as well. Needing to give it everything, get onto the back, get into that DRS. He's got a lot more ERS than the Williams in front, and trying to put a show to recover himself up in the Ferrari. He's still got a lot of people yet to pit. Himself in a very good position, but Ted and Simo as well look like they're working together really nicely. When will we see these two into the pit lane then? It looks like these soft tyres are still going strong and hanging on in there. As well, we're on to lap 8 of 13. This race has shot by very, very quickly indeed, and we've still not got everyone into the pit lane. We've still got half the but so, they're both into the pit, so Ted is going to cut. The pit is open for the medium strategy. So, will these fresh tyres that come in handy? Will Ethan get himself back past Bitmappy? Where will he come out after the pit lane? Coming in straight in with pit assist, so doesn't even need to worry about the pit limiter at all. But Tier coming out in P5, will it be? Who'll lose momentum? Here comes Scott and Vardy, who will come out then into the Rettifilio. There is Tier, here is Vardy, side by side they go then. Has Vardy got the momentum? Yes, he has, into the Rettifilio chicane and up the inside to take the racing line away from him. And up into P5 goes Vardy, and Scott really putting the pressure on. His tyres already warmed up, of course, compared to Tier's freezing cold ones. Tier, yeah, it looks like the cold tyres are really getting to him. He's lost a lot of momentum. Scott really needing to get his way through. Can he send up the inside? No, he's going to sit back and think better of it on this occasion. Through the De La Rocha then, riding the curbs, a bit shaky off the exit, unfortunately. And Ghost not having the best time either. He's down in P12, and not at all with these front runners, unfortunately. Sonic still leading the way, 15 seconds clear of his closest rival. And he'll have a nice buffer for when he decides to pit. But Scott needed to get his way through. He needs to get past here so he can chase after and get himself up towards Vardy. Five tenths is the gap. He's well within that DRS range. Through Parabolica, trying to get the power down as efficiently as possible. Ginger Prince and Ted both into the pit lane then, obviously for medium tyres. Let's see where they come out. This will be Scott, Tier and Vardy. Positions then. Where will Vardy come out? He'll come out P3. Tier all over the back of him though, to the inside for the podium. Sending it up the inside. Can he get it stopped? Big lock up then, and nearly into the back of Vardy, but he managed to hold it around the outside. Goes at the fast slap, but Tier with a stonking exit and in the slipstream through Curva Grande. Can he get the move done into the De La Rocha? He's eking out all of his battery, and Scott's sitting back saving for when these two first each other out. He's just playing the siege gameplay to the inside. Can he get it done? No, he's going to tap Vardy a little bit, make a bit of contact, but keep it clean. Vardy with a nice exit off, but Scott just trying to siege them out and wear their ERS thin and make sure they don't have enough left when he decides to attack. But Vardy not flinching at all. He's got a lot of ERS in the bank. Tier, on the other hand, quite the contrary. In the slipstream and into Ascari, he has got overtake. He's got the overspeed. It won't be the wisest move to make. He's going to lift off and back out of that one. And Vardy very committed through Ascari to try and hang on to that podium place. And he's driven a very nice race, it must be said. Sonic finally into the pit lane from the lead of the race. Let's see how he can do. Here's Scott on the back of Tier as well into Parabolica. He's just going to decide to work with him, but Tier really needing to get a good exit. Otherwise, had a wash of understeer through Parabolica. Probably won't be all over the back of him, unfortunately, into the... He decides to eke out all of his battery as well. Not going to have the run on Vardy that he needs. Completely out of ERS, and this could be... Scott's chance if he can get a good launch. Yes, he can. Tier very compromised. Can Scott the ERS to try and get past? He's definitely got the run if he can eke that ERS. Will it be? No, there's Yellow Flash through sector 1. Is that bluey round further back? It looks as though it will be further back into Parabolica and just under power. Must have lost it, unfortunately. The two Renaults as well looking to have a bit of a tussle. Potentially, we could see we've got 4 laps of this race remaining. Here's Scott though, DRS wide open. He's well within it, and so is Tier. He's well within that Vardy's DRS as well. Can he launch a tackle podium places. Scott is one of the three who haven't got penalties, so he could see himself on the podium. Sumo as well to the outside. Side by side, the two Renaults go. Miriel's getting a front row seat to it all. Can we see them go side by side? QB's going to back out of that one and think better of it, but Miriel's looking to strike and make the most of the two. But QB very compromised through Ascari. Could Miriel pounce? We'll have to see. But Scott back up in front. Had the best run through Ascari. He would have liked Ted slowly away at the gap of the two in front, but we'll have a look at the penalty situation. 6 seconds and 5 seconds for the two guys in front, so Scott is on the podium as it stands provisionally. Sonic leading away from Vardy, which will be Scott at the end of the race come the flag. Here's Miriel's. Can he get it up the inside of QB? Lick it, stick it, send it. No, he sends QB in deep though. Could he set up a nice little great power down nicely and swoops around the outside of QB. Very compromised exit. Set that up beautifully to get the power down very straight, and he finds himself up into P8 position. Or, well, P8. That just means position 8, not P8 position. That's just saying position 8 position. But we'll ignore that. One of my many areas. As per usual, you have to start calling me Crofty soon enough. But into Ascari, can't here get onto the back of Vardy. It looks like Scott has actually lost the two in front. He needs to put himself back into that DRS or just stay within the 5 seconds needed to win the race. Or no, win the race to finish on the podium. He needs to stay within 5 seconds to do so. He's within 1 second of Tier, who's very wide coming out of Parabolica. Has he got DRS to launch an attack? He's eking out his DRS to try and stay with him. He will have the drag reduction system down the back straight, the rear wing opening to giving him that extra 20 kph of speed down this back pit straight and into the Retafilio, braking and not closing up the gap enough, unfortunately, as well. Miriel's on the back of Sumo to the inside. Is it all in vain though, as Miriel's does pull to the outside? Is it going to be a clean move? Sumo tucking back in, and Miriel's cleanly up to P7, and a big lock up, not doing his tyres any good, but managing to cleanly get that done with his pace that he definitely has in the race. Sumo just having to settle for 8th for the moment, and Ghost down in P9, not in the best of races in front of the Tifosi, but Sonic definitely is putting on a good show in the Italian team, controlling the race just like Pierre Gasly 20. Difference this time, he doesn't have a Charger McLaren after him. He's got a nice 5 second buffer coming onto the final lap in just a moment's time. Still launching the pressure onto Vardy though. He has got a lot closer. Can he eke out some ERS to get onto the back of him? Ted picks himself up, 3 second time penalty into Parabolica, looking for the 50 board, really sending it in under trail braking. Through there, he's using his ERS to try and get the exit, but Vardy using everything he has left. Onto the final lap we go then, lap 13 of 13. This is really all it was, what's it come down to, and Scott is the one victorious of the three for the final podium place, as long as he can keep it clean for the final lap. Tier to the end, no, not quite, gonna have to sit back, bit of a lock up though, try to set up the good exit, which he does nicely. He needs to get the power down and get a shift on this final lap if he wants any chance of toppling Vardy to third. He also needs to get an extra second of a gap, because that is the difference in penalties. Into the Della Roja though, he's running out of time, he's running out of opportunities. Gets a very nice exit though off the second part of the Della Roja, and all over the back of him into the two Lesmos, chucking it in, giving it everything. He's not got too much DRS, but neither is Vardy. All over the back of him though is Tier, into the DRS zone of the race. He's got DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's a lot closer on this occasion, using all of his energy recovery system. He has left, he goes to the inside, Tier dummy into the inside. He's got the overspeed, gonna have to back off though and think better of it, and Vardy still holding his nerve through a he's got the overspeed now, he's got the run on Parabolica, he's playing the line, using all of his ERS he's got left. Is it going to be enough though into Parabolica? The final corner of the race, across the line goes Sonic, he wins for AlphaTauri. Great race, and or well, the Alpha team coming across the line to win, well, to round off the front and make it a Red Bull 1-2. Vardy across line P3, Tier will come across line P4, but Scott will jump them both into P3, Ted across line P6, which will be P5 after Tier. And here comes and managed to recover himself nicely to P7, follows closely by Sumo, and goes P9, QB P10, Bitmap P11 in the AlphaTauri. Ethan comes home P12, Ginger P13, he'll be 14, Palfs through Ascari, he'll finish 15th, and Max 16th, so bit backwards after Australia for Max, but still a good result. He's kept it clean, he's kept it consistent, and that is the main thing. His Palfs through Parabolica. And he'll finish P15. Bit of a disappointing result for him then after spinning off lap 1 and spinning and coming out of Parabolica. Not the race as Palfs would have liked, and probably definitely jinxed by myself, but we'll move on from that. Max P16 and Bluey running off the grid in P17. 2 retirements of Bossy and Davila. And Vardy, very deservedly so, your driver of the day. And the AlphaTauri is taking the podium here at Monza and taking the top step of said podium for the 3rd time here at Monza, and definitely going to be doing the Tifosi proud with a Ferrari as well on the podium. So 2 Italian teams on the podium at Monza, you couldn't get better than that, and Scott definitely going to be doing the Italian fans proud. But after 13 laps of excitement, one Vardy P4, Ted P5, Tier P6, Miriles 7, Sumo P8, Ghost P9, and QB P10, Bitmap P11, Ethan P12, Prince P13, S-Man P14, Boss P15, Max 16th in P17, and Bossy and Davila rounding off the grid. The DNFing, unfortunately, from this race. Be interesting to see how this affects the standings though, as Ghost has had a bit of a stinker race down in P9. Could we see a shake up at the front? Who knows, but Williams definitely going to be leaving on top today. After that intense race at Monza, Um, I'm not sure if they're doing the WAG race. I'm not 100% sure. It was mentioned yesterday, but I'll just sit and wait. So we can rip into blue. I'm just stupid then. So we're actually a couple of weeks away. That's just me being stupid. So actually, this is going to conclude the stream. I've just been sat here, but thanks for sticking around. It's just going to be a bit of extra watch time given to me. But just being at 8. But yeah, no, that's been me. I've been Zach. This has been APPF1. I hope you have enjoyed. And if you have, do make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll catch you next week or whenever I'm next streaming, which should hopefully be for APPF1. And I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll catch you next time.